Right, it's going to be a video on how to fit a AEM boost gauge and also an AFR gauge. So I'm just basically going to show you how to do the boost one because it's going to be almost the same process for the AFR, just plugging in the sensor or O2 sensor, sorry, into a different location. But yeah, it's what you can have in the box. You can have your sensor. Use that there. This will go directly to the back of the gauge. You'll have some vacuum line, which isn't long enough, so you're probably going to have to go buy some more if you've got an MR2. Should be fine in another car though. This will plug into the sensor, and then the only wires you really have to worry about are the red and black wire here. Red wire is your power, and then black, I'm pretty sure, is your ground. It's either brown or black. We'll figure that out. I've got to read the instructions first. The first step is going to be ripping your interior apart. So you're going to want to take off this plastic trim. So if you're going to do an A-pillar pod, chances are you're going to want to run the wires down here and under the carpet. So you're going to have to take all this trim off. And behind the driver's seat or passenger, depends where you want to mount your gauge, there's going to be some grommets in there, which is going to be a pain in the ass to get to because of my intercooler piping's in the way. But yeah, you'll go through this grommet. That sensor that I just showed you, I'm probably going to mount somewhere in there, but I'll figure it out when I come to it. But yeah, the reason I'm going to need a longer vacuum line for the boost one specifically is because I'm going off of this this vacuum port on the inlet plenum. I'm going to be disconnecting my map sensor just because I'm going to figure out something different a bit longer term. It's probably not a good idea to disconnect this because it disconnects your fuel cut, but I haven't got a manual boost controller in there yet, so boost isn't going to go too crazy. It's not going to overboost or anything. But yeah, just for the meantime, go off of this vacuum line and then run that along this cover here and down through the grommet, which you probably can't see because it's behind that intercooler pipe, but that's where we're going to be going off. First two screws you want to take out if you're doing an A-pillar pod are these. So there's one right next to your fog lights, and there's one just the other side underneath your cigarette lighter. Once that's off, you should be able to pull away this trim, which there you go, is coming off. And because we want a bit more space, there's also one just down here. Unfortunately this is cracked, which is really fucking jarring, but there's another screw just up there. So take that off and you should be able to remove most of the trim. So on the left hand side, just underneath the cigarette lighter, if you wanted to completely remove this piece of trim, there's also a screw hidden up there. Let's see if I can get the torch on. Yeah, screw just up there, so take that off as well. But this piece, this is your latch release for your engine bay cover. I have broken this before very easily. There's like a little screw in there that I didn't know was there. I just started prying at it, assuming it was just popped in there. It's not, it's definitely got a screw. So remove that screw first. Be careful not to drop it through the hole. So feed it back through. And yeah, once that's free, it should free up this speaker panel. And you just pry away at that. Because you've already removed this piece of trim, it's not going to snap or anything. So yeah. The only thing holding it on, aside from that, if you're going to be anal about it, I think you can pop it out without, is take out this box, which I think I'm going to do. It's just 3 screws there, 3 little poppers, and yeah. Okay, so I've removed all of the screws there, and then those are just little pop tabs. They look just like, I'll show you. These small little plastic clips, so you want to get a flat head on either side and slowly prise them up, because if you do crack them, it'll just be an extra bit of your car that's missing, and I've already got enough of that, to be honest. So right, there you go. So there's the lid of that off. Right, put that as one side. Oh yeah, there's also a couple of black clips down here. I already broke them when I was taking out the foam a while ago, but yeah, if you want to break even less things, take those out. So all of this is out of the way. So now just carefully start prising at this. There's so many little plastic clips underneath this, so chances are you're going to break a couple, but if you're slow then you'll break as few as possible. Okay, now first time for me too, but I believe that it's just 2 screws holding on this plastic trim at the top for you to be able to pull this carpet down and away, and behind that should be the grommet as far as I know. Keep saying as far as I know, sorry, I'm not used to making videos. But yeah, right, so I'm going to take those off. I have taken these off before. I've never tried to pull the carpet back, but I remember there being some really dodgy plastic clips up there that were very easy to break. So yeah, try your best as you have with these to preserve what few you might have left. So at this point, you've got that plastic trim off. What you could do, if you're still planning on wiring through here, is you would take off, there's a few clips here, some screws that run the way along, and also you take off this box too, with a bunch of screws that are holding it in. But you'd remove all of that, and that way you can pull the entire carpet down, run the wires through here, and then behind the trim, which leads to the middle of the dash. But yeah, since I'm doing the A-pillar pod, I believe I can just pull this back, so let's give this a go. That's being held on by a clip, so I've just popped that white clip out. Let's get this one out too. Good. Right, I'm going to chuck them somewhere safe. I've just literally lost it already. Okay, I'll find that another time. So yeah, I think I can just pull this back now, and voila, there I am. That is the grommet that we're looking for. I've pulled that grommet out now, so I can now see into my engine bay. There you go. We want to try and push that back in as far as we can when we reassemble everything. But yeah, now I'll show you on the engine bay side what we're going to be doing. So since I'm doing the AFR and the boost gauge, obviously I told you before, there's that vacuum line that runs along here. I'm gonna have to go and get a longer one, because the AEM one is only so long, because it's meant to be, I'm assuming, for, you know, most cars are front engine, so it doesn't expect the vacuum line to have to be that long. But I'll route that along here and straight through that grommet, and then the downpipe is just there, and about halfway down the downpipe or so there's a little bung for the AFR. Okay, so I made a bit of progress, managed to get the vacuum line. I went and bought a longer one because, I mean, it probably would have fit, but it would have been pretty stretched and tight, so got a slightly longer bit of vacuum line. And I fed that through that grommet, and there is my sensor for my boost gauge. So I haven't fully tightened everything up yet, but just got a little bit of insulation, and I've put that on top of that. Probably not the best solution, but it's going to work. So then the wires come under the carpet here, and I fed them right the way along up the side of here, and there's the power for my boost gauge. So yeah, the last thing to do, at least for the boost gauge, is to wire up the ground and power. I think I'm going to go for the power off of the cigarette lighter. But yeah, at the moment I'm going to jack the back of the car up and get my AFR sensor hooked up, and then it'll be the same process of feeding it through the grommet and the firewall. Okay, so jack the back of the car up and remove the bung that I had just sat in the downpipe. But yeah, I'm going to try and get this O2 sensor plugged in, and then it'll be a matter of getting these wires fed through. But yeah, all pretty simplistic so far, although that bung was a fucking nightmare to get off, but oh well. Right, I'm about to put my grey jacket on because it is fucking cold, mate. But yeah, it's coming along pretty well. Got the car jacked up again, and I've dropped my little cable down there. I hope you can see that. It's a little colourful one. So that is the sensor cable for the AFR. So I'm going to plug the O2 sensor in, then plug that into the O2 sensor, and that should be me done as far as plugging shit in. But yeah, I'll keep you updated. Right, so far this hasn't been that difficult really. I've got all the wires routed from the AFR and the inlet plenum. So inlet plenum boost line or vacuum line, whatever, it's come through the grommet. So is the AFR's connector. So now it's really just a case of getting it all neatly wired underneath the plastic trim there, and get my power and ground wires sorted. but I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue really. I thought it was going to be difficult to get these, to get all these lines hidden back here, but I don't think it's going to be too bad really. I've got enough slack, especially from the AFR gauge. The AFR gauge I've got a shit ton of wire, look. But yeah, now that the boost sensor's in there, I've got a decent amount of slack. I mean, I've got all of that left sat at the top, so. I've been waiting for this pillar pod to turn up for so long now. I left work early to try and get this done, and it was meant to come about 3 hours ago. It is supposedly still coming, so obviously I might just be fitting this in the dark, because it gets dark about fucking 4 o'clock nowadays. But the car is ready to go, aside from that. Right, so finally got around to doing the power, and thankfully Adrian's around to save the day, because he actually knows what he's doing with wiring. So we could have done the fog light, but there's very limited room, and someone's already tapped into that for my turbo timer. So we're going to try and do the cigarette lighter 12 volt, but I mean there's equally limited space over there really, but we're going to try our best.
Oh my god! Wow! Oh my god!
So it's the next day, and yeah, we just ran out of light yesterday. We did end up getting them in, but it was too late and too cold, so I stopped recording. But yeah, they work as they should. Power on, they look really nice when driving, especially the boost gauge. Those nice green notches all popping across, it's so nice. I mean, because to be honest, when I'm driving, it's not super easy to see the boost. Obviously, you've got to be focused on the road. It probably is better to have one mounted in the stock position. But yeah, I'm really happy with it overall. It looks really cool outside the car. Well, it definitely makes the car look a lot faster than it actually is. But yeah, I mean, the data is pretty useful. Now I actually know what boost I'm making. And with the breathing mods that I've got an intercooler, induction kit, new downpipe, and 3-inch exhaust. And just for those things, I'm making almost, I think, 13.5 or 14 psi. That is in cold weather, but I mean that's pretty good for a complete stock engine. And my FRs have all been pretty good. I think they're somewhere around the 13 or 14 mark when normally driving, and about 11 on boost. So it all sounds good to me, and it definitely looks the part. So yeah, that's about it really. Pretty successful install. I will never be buying more useless car parts. So at some point I'll upload another tutorial on how to do something. But for the moment, to be honest, I'm probably just going to be putting in a manual boost controller and maybe get some nicer trim. I want to replace that shifter trim because it looks a bit dusty, it's showing its age a bit. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment and subscribe, and comment down below if there's anything you want to see in particular, because I'm enjoying making these videos.